There we go. We have a green flag for FP1. Let's see if I can. This is out first. Map is not up to date with me. That's no big deal. Let's get to live chat. So it'll be about a minute or so before we get our first times. Again, they're doing everyone's doing an out lap at this point. Why is Logan swearing? Um, that's a good question. Why is he swearing already? Are we seeing how they drive? No, CT. This is just a watch along. This is intended to be supplemental to. So Gasly's the first one out. Sargent is second. Boss is third. Russell is fourth to come out. So we're just getting our first. Ooh, we're getting some action on track in that first lap. Russell's trying to. Russell just passed Bottas. He's behind, I believe, would be Albon. No, Sargent. So Russell's out there trying to make a move on people in their outlets, and he has passed Bottas, but it looks like Russell is Russell. So Russell has passed Bottas on track within the first 2 minutes of practice here. So again, we are dealing with wind gusts right now from the south, southerly direction. Right now, we're reading at 2.3 kilometers per hour. That's a strong gust, everyone, and that is something that if that is not consistent, and it's been reported that it doesn't look like it will be consistent through this session, that will affect how the car drives, where they should be braking, whatnot. That they will change the characteristics of the track, and this is an interest. It will make things interesting. Again, we're following along with Russell. He's now on his hot lap. See, Random is here. A lot of Two Glit is here. Vicky's here. Dark Mayu is here. Andrew, I saw something was new. Again, we're given 15 subs. I think earlier this morning that I was able to see. And who just jumped? So at this point, everyone has gotten is again Stroller Mag's the last two to get out of the pits. Um, there's someone who just dived into the pits. So everyone's has come out and done at least an installation lap. Again, I'm going to wait a little bit. So it was Oscar who jumped back into the pits right away. Okay, so there's something wrong with Oscar's helmet that he is complaining about. So they're going to swap his. So basically, they're going to swap his helmet and send him back out. Russell has jumped into the pits. So we're now getting our first times on the board. And Max has gone out and gone P1 out of the gates right away. I'm a few seconds ahead of the timing sheet. But right now, Perez was taking P1, Sergeant P2, Alvin P3, Sergeant P4. There you go. There's Perez. Perez just did, Verstappen just did a 112.131. So and Doc Mayu, just use their super chat. So when you subscribe, you get a super chat like Mayo just used. So it just called out for Williams. Williams next year will have Albon again in the first seat, and in the second seat will be Carlos Sainz. And that was determined. We found out before the end, bef- the first week of spring break of the winter, I mean, sorry, summer break, I should say. The other driver news that has happened is that Alpine has confirmed that Jack Doohan is going to take that second seat with Gasly. We know Ocon has moved on to Haas with Ali Behrman as his teammate there. So we've got a lot of movement going on in the driver market this year. Again, this everything kicked off early, what preseason when it was announced that Hamilton was going to move to Ferrari. He'll be teaming with Carlos Sainz. We know that Russell is signed up still with Mercedes, but we don't know who is going to be in that second seat. It is likely going to be Kimi Antonelli, who is basically which which we got someone in the litter. They're moving. Um, it's Russell. Russell just moved into just missed his turn and went into the gravel. Uh, did not beach himself. It kept moving. So no red flag scenario for you guys today. So after a few minutes right now, we've got Verstappen on top of the board, Norris is second, Hamilton is third, Perez is fourth, and Sargent right now is fifth. So Russell did not get his braking correct, is what they're looking at right now, because he just locked up dramatically going into the gravel. Yeah. Dark Mayo is pointing out that Russell is going to be pushing hard after them. Again, those who don't remember or wasn't here, Russell did a master class, basically would have been a master class win on a one stopper. The problem is that when they came to weigh his car, it was a kilogram and a half under the weight, the actual weight, and that's unfortunately broke the rules. He was disqualified. Had a great run. Would have had won the race. Was no P1 on track, and then was not able to keep it because he was disqualified. That pushed Hamilton to P1 in the win. Oscar was promoted to P2, and that promoted Charles Leclerc to P3. Here is Perez doing pretty much the same thing as Russell going through the gravel as well. Perez right now is signed to Red Bull for the next, I believe, 2 years, but we know that there are potentially performance issues, and contracts, and stuff going on with him that he needs to hit. Uh, um, he needs to perform better in these next races to actually stay in that seat at this point to next year. Of course, if let's say this disaster happens, he could be replaced, but I'm gonna see that's going on. Yeah, something's wrong with the advisory. He did a single lap. He came in and they switched out his helmet. And that was a few minutes ago. Or is he still saying he's having issues with his visor? Hamilton right now flying on a flying lap. Yeah, Perez is should perform. He typically performs better in the last uh portion of the season. He did that last year where he did well and then had a slump, and then at the end of the season, pulled out to keep P2 in the drivers last year. Compton Football Club with Dude announced one less seat for Zoe. He is going to be unemployed, and I think you're asking if he's going to get unemployed. It is looking like Joe is going to be unemployed next year. I don't see. I mean, I don't see him being signed by another team. And that's harsh to say, but it's the same with Logan Sargent. He is not going to be on the grid. And those are the two potential people who may not. Again, we've already got two new rookies coming in next year. Two people have to go out. Sargent is apparently no, Joe's not the worst in F1. I would put Sargent behind Joe in a lot of scenarios. But there are people who have been worse in the past few years than both of them. So, um, but ultimately, Sargent is linked to a potential seat with IndyCar in the United States. Prema is basically coming to IndyCar next year, and Sargent is apparently reportedly linked with that. Looking at who is cooking right now, Sainz right now on a flying lap where he's improving. Ricardo is starting a lap where he's improved in sector one. Let's see who else. Gasly improves to P8. So right now our board looks like is Verstappen, Hamilton, Norris, Albon, and then Sonoda. Their top five. And we are looking at from P1 through P13 within 1 second. And then everyone is through P20 is within 2 seconds. So that means something here. It does mean something here because FP2 typically is representative of what you could see in quali and in the race itself, given it's at the same time of approximately the same time as both of them. Compton pointing out Joe is actually a good driver. His crew and car sucks. Yeah, he has not had a great car in F1, but he's also been and so he's been at the back of the pack. Again, the stake team has not scored any points. And Sargent's the only other person who's not scored any points. They're calling Gasly into box this moment. Um, one of the benefits that brings up one of the benefits that you have prescribing on the channel is a set of emojis that are specific to this channel. I just drop those into chat. Again, you pay a few bucks each month. You get the green chat name and the badge in front of you. I would have green chat, but I'm also a mod, so that changed my color. Right now, we have about 2,192 watching right now. We've got 275 likes. clearing almost 300. Again, that helps us with the YouTube algorithm with the likes. Get what you guys are saying, and the audience seems to be looking to replace everyone at Sabra, so it'll be hard to motivate them back. And the fact, no, that is to motivate them is by bringing in new leadership. That is to motivate them is to and that's I mean, Audi has basically had to come in and clean house. Seriously, they've had to clean house. The two people who were critical to this to getting the Audi project, having them buy Sauber, they're gone, and Bonono's in. That's the other big thing, and that's a sign that things were really bad at the Sauber team. We've got the Audi team, engine team doing what they need to do, and the Sauber team is blowing it on track at this point. So Max he's in the pits right now. Let's see who else. Sainz came into the pits. There's a lot of the people are in the pits right now, and this is to be expected with after 15-20 minutes. And we're gonna have a red flag. Your red flag moment is brought to you by Nico Hulkenberg, who has digged himself into the tire barriers. So again, let's take a look back. What heck happened to him? Driver cannon. And it looks like he's okay. He's getting out of this. So looking at the driver cam for Nico, he is currently getting out of his vehicle right now. So he is okay. Getting some help. Let's jump back. What is going on? So I've jumped back on my stream on the Hulkenberg's driver cam. I'm trying to see what happened. So he's starting a new lap, and that's weird. What happened? Okay. So when Hulkenberg he's coming to the first turn after. So he crosses the line for the start of a new lap. He the first um comes to the first braking zone, and he just loses the car completely. Um, and that ultimately that's what. Oh, what do we do? Oh, yeah. Basically, we're just waiting for them to get his car off track. So, yeah, that's pretty much it to the live stream. Hulkenberg is safe. He did get out of his car. Needed a little help. It was a little slow, but he did get out of his car. Yeah. So Johnny Palmer is saying that ultimately this was a rear lock on um, magazine, not magazine. Hulkenberg basically was basically carrying too much speed, is what he thinks. And he goes to start his braking, and he just loses the back end of his car. Yeah, did something happen to Hulkenberg? Yeah, he is spun and went backwards into the tire barrier. So Hulkenberg next year will be with the Audi team. There's one seat, I believe, one seat left with that team still not determined, and Hulkenberg now is walking back to the pits. Um, do we restart that? I don't think we have a restart time, or do we? Oh, there we go. We got 16:22 restart time, so that will be in about a minute. I believe that's Checo on the line, ready to go when things get back. Um, it wasn't bad, bad. It wasn't horribly bad. I mean, they've gotten the car off the track pretty quickly. Um, he basically spun around backwards and went into the tire barrier. We've seen much worse, and IndyCar has had much worse accidents. Yeah, they will continue. They'll be continuing in about a minute. For those who are curious about the colors that you see on the chart, um, so basically the three colors you're going to see generally when a car's on track is yellow, purple, and green. Yellow means that we've gone back to green flag, and I believe this is Perez back on track. Nope, I am wrong. That is Max Verstappen out front. No, that's not. Yeah. Thank again, Frank, for gifting one more subscription. I cannot pronounce this person's name. It's all kanji, and I can't pronounce it. But you've been given a subscription sub for this next month from Frank. Again, you guys are listening to the Racing CU channel. We've gone back to a green flag scenario after Hulkenberg spun and went back into the wall. Wasn't bad, but I think why typically with the TV broadcast, they will cut away quickly because until they know the driver is okay, and they won't show anything on broadcast TV until they know the driver is okay. So Max being the first one out on track going for a new flying lap right now. Did Hulkenberg crash after 1 minute? No, it's a little more than 1 minute. We went at least like 12 minutes before he crashed. So we've got 36 minutes left in this session so far. Again, you listen to the Racing to YouTube channel. This is Grash. I am now awake. I did miss FP1 this morning. Right now, we're bringing you coverage of FP2 and name propeller. Moving on. Verstappen has just set a new sector one. He will be setting a new sector two and a sector three. Who took it? Norris takes it from Max and his on his flying lap. So we'll keep an eye on where Norris is after this. But Max is going to set a 130 point. Read the numbers. It's a one. So Norris is going to go P1 with 110.961. So he's actually gone faster. Norris is sector 1, does not improves in sector 2, but not faster than Max. Bottas has come in with P3 with a 112.209. Norris did not take the fastest third sector, but he's just faster than Max to 110.961. It's 0.025 different. So Max at a 110.986. So we got less than a tenth between a quarter of a tenth between those two. That's huge. Who crashed, please? It was Hulkenberg. Lost control of the car going into the first braking zone. Spun backwards into the wall. Oscar right now setting on a flying lap. Zoe's just jumping up to P7 right now. He does a 11.934. That would help if I. Right. I keep an eye what is on track, what's going on at the track at the moment. We're following Lando at the moment. So Oscar's going to go P1. He's going to do a 110.763. That's 0.19, so almost 2 tenths faster than Norris, quarter of a second faster than Verstappen, 8 tenths faster than Perez. Albin is the only one within 1 second of Oscar's time. Albin did a 111.639. That's a 0.876 difference. We are we're 2 seconds through P14, and Ricardo in P20 is 0.26 behind Oscar's time. F1 TV is following along with Alonso at the moment. I believe he's starting flying lap. I know he's finishing his flying lap. He is going to jump up. Snowder jumping back up to P4 again. So at top of the board is going to be Oscar, Norris, Max, Sonoda, Alonso, and then Magnussen. Cardo jumping to P8. Hamilton about to finish his flying lap. I'm about a few seconds ahead than the stream with F1 TV. Hamilton has a fastest first sector, Proves in second, 2 and 3, and he's only a tenth behind. That's going to put him into P3 with 0.111 behind. And out of nowhere, Russell went P1. So Mercedes cooking. So on the stream, Russell's about to finish. So Russell does a 110.702. So he's 0.06 faster than Oscar. F1 TV is pointing out that Daniel. So again, last year Daniel came back after replacing De Vries. And it was basically his second or third race coming after he had come back. crashed here in FP2. Basically, he had to go in. It was either go into the wall or hit Oscar. Is basically what ended up happening. He went into the wall and ultimately broke his hand. He was out for, I believe, 3 races, which allowed Liam Lawson to come in and replace him for a few for 3 races. And that's the one of the interesting questions still outstanding is what is gonna. There is one seat open with Red Bull at the Racing Bulls, the V Carb team. Right now, Daniel is in that seat, but they have a contract with Lawson, and so the issue is basically they either need to um, sign Lawson to another team, or if they're going to keep Ricardo, they have to sign Lawson to another team, and that's contractual with them. Leclerc just jumped to P9 on the grid. And right now we are got 29 minutes left to go in this session right now. We're halfway through it. Again, this is the Race to YouTube channel. You are here with Crash. I'm giving you live coverage of the Dutch GP Free Practice 2 session. Again, this is a watch along, everyone. So, we are not here to be your tech support to watch F1 TV. You're expected to watch along, whether it's on F1 TV Pro, Sky Sports, ESPN Plus, wherever you may be watching. Um, so if you're asking in chat, how do I watch F1? You're going to get tossed from chat for that reason. Ars thinks that Mercedes will not have damage on the car. I mean, I hope not. Yeah. Russell did go through the gravel, and he's now P1, so it doesn't look like he does have. Um, right now, in action on track, we've got Max coming back out on track. Tsunoda, Alonso, K-Mag, Leclerc, Albon are on track. Ricardo, Gasly, Sargent. No, just Ricardo and Gasly. Sargent's in the pits. Stroll, Zoe, Bottas, Ocon are on track as well. We're seeing now people coming out onto soft tires primarily. Oh, Gasly's going to get his lap time deleted. Again, here in practice, lap times are not deleted like as they normally would be in um not as they would normally be in, say, quali. So Hippotens is asking Box of sites. I don't know about new parts as of yet. We'll have a better understanding of who's taking what parts tomorrow. Phonics asking wind tomorrow a factor. Wind is going to be a factor today. I mean, it's still gusting at 18.7 kilometers per hour at the moment. I mean, yeah, kilometers per hour. It was gusting stronger at 20 before, like 2.2. Sorry, 22.2, I should say. McLaren 44 saying if Oscar leads to a better team, McLaren will have to make a career. No, I don't know what you're doing here, my friend. Oscar left Alpine. in a dramatic way to go to McLaren. Yeah, the if you extend into IndyCar, the drama that is McLaren has been massive over the past 2 years. Actually, two and a half, almost 2.5 years. It starts with Hello in IndyCar, and then it extends with Oscar with his. You all know that Oscar with his tweet saying he's not going to drive for Alpine. That actually started. That's a duplication of what Hello did in IndyCar about a month before that. So the drama with McLaren, particularly over in IndyCar, where it's been almost it's like a musical chair with some of the seats. Science is still here. Science is in the pits right now. The only three people on track is Norris, Verstappen, and Gasly, and then Norris and Verstappen are on medium tires at the moment. Norris is coming out onto track on medium tires. Right now. Now Norris and Verstappen are living. So we're at 23 minutes left in the session. So it looks like teams are full cars in. They're now setting up for whatever the next program is going to be. That is the reason why they're all at the moment. Agnes is going up for Verstappen versus Norris. Not really. They're like in different sectors of the track altogether. They're nowhere near each other as a moment right now. R says looks like Ferrari not going to be stronger in Italy next. Can you explain why? Why you think that might be the case, my friend? So one of the commentators said Hamilton pulls another win and Max scores very low points. There's still hope for the championship. I guess we're talking about the constructors championship here. No one's really improving. Well, I mean, only Norris and Max have been on track. So we've got Sargent, Oscar, and Russell who are on outlaps right now. So we will see in a few minutes. Maybe one of them. And so Max is coming to end of his current lap. He's gone 10 on medium tires, and Norris has gone 9 on uh, reporting 9 on medium tires. But he just came out recently on those tires. All right, so Oscar now starting a flying lap. The only person ahead of Oscar right now is Max. But I don't. Oscar did not improve his time in Sector 1, and he's not improving his time in Sector 2. Norris and Sargent, the next one start laps. Norris has not is not improving in sector 1. Sargent did not improve in Sector 1 as well. So we may be looking at cars on not Wally pace, but maybe race pace. Hamilton's coming out on track, but we don't know. It's going to come out onto a medium tire. Though it says there's still a chance for the drivers' champion as well. Red Bull haven't improved enough. Definite second, if not sometimes third fastest car. I don't. It will be interesting if Max does not win the drivers' championship this year. It would be a massive collapse on his part. MSJ10 is asking what happened to Sainz. We're not really sure. He's not just has not been fast. He's only done 7 laps. He's in the pits right now. Sainz is a gearbox issue. That would explain why. There you go. Thank you for that, chat. Andrew, another one of our newer chatters in green. Who else saw Logan's Ibotta Ruby Red Lemonade commercial? Have not seen that. That will probably, I'm going to have to look that up after the session. Put that into the Discord. We do have a Discord channel, and we are active in it. We're active pretty much through the whole summer break as well. Craig is asking what does the color blue means. That means the car is coming out of. So in sector 1, at the beginning of those means that the car is coming out of the pits. In sector 3, so looking at like Alonso right now, who's in the pits, that blue means that he entered the pits. Again, Hulkenberg is the one lone person with a red. That means that he had stopped on track. Again, he stopped. Again, that dot that you're seeing is that first hairpin curve after in the first braking zone. He's been the only red flag. He's the one that incident caused a red flag. I should say. Again, I want to thank everyone who's here for the Race to the YouTube channel. This is Crash with you live commentary and following the action on track. Now, F1 TV is showing Leclerc as he starts a new flying lap. Leclerc right now is 9th on the grid. And it's going to be a few seconds before he starts. So I'm again like 10 seconds ahead with F1 TV. Looking at the grid right now, no one is improving on their times as of yet. So we could be looking at cars weighted down with fuel. We could be looking at cars, set up for the a race simulation as opposed to quality simulation. Leclerc is behind Junior Ferrari, meaning that Magnussen is ahead of. So what he's referring to is that Magnussen is a Haas, which is a customer team to Ferrari. Right now, looking at the board, no one is improving on any of their times. So they've hit their peak. Ooh, we had an unsafe release between Lance and which Williams was that? And that it would be on Williams in this case for the unsafe release. So we'll see if there's a steward say anything. They probably will. It'll probably be they'll probably bring them in and Ricardo and Joe unsafe release. So it would have been Ricardo. So it wasn't Williams. It was a different. That might be a different incident. So there's a unsafe release between Ricardo and Joe noted. Right. Driver side keeps sending these guys over. It's very problematic in the overall championship. What I'm not sure what you're talking about, Stephen. So again, right now we've got two. Everyone is out on track at the moment. No one is improving on their times, but ultimately the only two who are not on track is Sainz, who has a gearbox issue, and then ultimately Hulkenberg, who spun and uh, hit the back of his car against the tire barrier in the first braking zone. Maria Brazil says drive side just takes everything seem more dramatic and away from reality. Necessary. I mean, there's an element that they are being more dramatic, but it's the dramatic program. That's the purpose of it is to generate interest in the sport and in the personalities of these drivers. So they are gonna push things a little bit, but that's the purpose of that program. It's supposed to be entertaining and to bring in new fans, essentially. Yeah, Ryan is going to be, and then we've got Ricardo and Stroll. Oh no, Zoe was the one in front. I'm reading the state team is an Aston Martin. So the issue between Joe and Ricardo, the unsafe release. So I'm going to take that back. That will be handled after the session. So Gail saying Russell like ahead again, sabotage and lose. Can you be more specific on what you mean by that? By sabotage? That's a very interesting comment there. Yeah, again, this is Grash. Again, we are about 11 minutes, 12 minutes, under 12 minutes left in the session. This is Grash, not Ryan. Ryan will be back for, he usually does, he'll be back for quali and for the race tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow for quali and race on Sunday. I'm here for practice when I'm awake. Bill, you need to think of it's more of like a pyramid. Basically, you're climbing up. So F1 is the top of the pyramid, and then the direct feeder system under F1 is F2. Um, F3 is the next feeder system that that. So basically, as you go, the next feeder system to F2 is F3. Also at that level is, I believe, is the Formula One Academy. That's the female driver, and that's equivalent to an F3 series. F4 is then another feeder series into the F1 Academy and F3, and those are F4 is regional. So you'll see like one in the Britain, one in Europe, one in Asia. Um, we technically have. I don't know if we don't have one in kind of have one in the United States. I'm not sure which one. Again, this is um, so we're much further down in terms of where the talent is, and these are all different. Like they're all leagues basically, racing leagues, all under the FIA. So if we start talking about NASCAR, we're talking about IndyCar, Indy Next. These are not. Um, no, F1 Academy is not below F4. That is no F1 Academy is equivalent to an F3 series. Again, people are asking what happened to the science again in chat. Ultimately, his gearbox is given out and they're replacing it. What happened to Hulkenberg? He crashed on track in the first 15 minutes of the session. We were about 12, 13 minutes of the session when he crashed. Pray that Ollie does not get injured oh, you're talking about in F2. So yeah, Ollie is basically still driving in F2, even though he has an F1 contract. So Ollie Behrman is basically one of the new two rookies that will be on the grid next year. We know that Jack Doohan is going to be the other rookie joining the grid next year. We still have seats we still have seats that have not been resolved. Red Bull, by virtue of being Red Bull, Checo's seat is not fully resolved as of yet. So the question is, are they keeping with Checo? Again, the other seat is with the V card. Um, are we keeping Checo? Are we keeping Daniel? Are we promoting Lawson? And Lawson would be if Red Bull were to promote Lawson, he would be the third rookie next year. So we could, in theory, let's say in theory, Mercedes goes with Kimi Antonelli, which has been discussed, and Red Bull promotes um, their driver, their reserve driver as well. We could see four rookies on the grid next year. That would be huge. Russell, right now, so again, we've got about under 7 minutes left to go in this session. We have Russell at the top of the board with a 110.702. Oscar is 0.061 behind. Hamilton is 0.11 behind. Hamilton is, I think, the last one to have moved up on the board. And then Norris is 0.259, and Verstappen is 0.84 behind. We've got about 572 likes so far. We're about under 30 to get to 600. If you have not liked or subscribed right now, now's a great time to do so. If you subscribe and you hit the bell, you'll get notifications when we go live. And we've got a pass on track, and it is a Williams passing one of the V carbs. Sergio Perez just locked up. No, it's not Perez. It was one of the. It was one of the. Ooh, that's dangerous. So Charles just did a pass on the inside around um, Checo, and I'm wondering if Checo was out of place on that curve, because it looks like Charles had to respond to where Checo was. So that's interesting. Again, I'm right now looking at the board right now. No one's improving on their times at the moment. No one's trying to improve on their times. So again, we're not looking at right now them testing, a quality scenario. We're looking at them testing out other programs at the moment. Bring my microphone closer to me so you guys can hear me better. We've got under 4 minutes to go in this session right now. Again, you're listening to the Racing 62 channel, and this is Grash. Here with live action of the ending of Free Practice 2 for the Dutch Grand Prix. We've got pretty much everyone on track except for Russell and obviously Sainz with a gearbox issue and Hulkenberg who crashed earlier in the session. Oh, that's a wide. Magnussen went a little high on that bank. And he's a second and an eighth behind after one sector already. So we are, again, he's probably loaded down with fuel, is my best get. He's on soft tires too. So the car is loaded. It's probably loaded with fuel. That's the only thing I can think of. Looking at what you guys are saying in chat right now. Why is Checo P12? He's probably not doing anything that required him to be push the car for. We got some side by side action. Magnussen is passed by, I believe, I believe that's one of the Williams. And that would be Alvin passing K-Mag. Yeah, it's interesting that you guys are coming in here like charging at, I'm going to put out Valentine saying because Checo should be without a seat. Checo still has a seat. Obviously, he is still driving for Red Bull. Um, is it as good as he was last year? No, but he is still better than the alternative, which is basically Yuki, which Red Bull has no interest in promoting. Ricardo, who has not shown that he's got he's back to where he was previously, and then finally Liam Lawson, who's a rookie. And you can go on all you want about marketing and this and that. Ultimately, Checo is the best option that Red Bull has in that second seat. And we are now waving the checkered flag for this session right now. I'm like 30 seconds ahead. Wow, that's crazy. Sofos points out that Perez doesn't even score points. Rookie or Gookie would be better. No, no, Yuki. They have no interest in promoting. So let's be clear. They have no interest to promote Yuki to the first seat. And there's no way you can justify even saying that. Ooh, we got a replay here of one of the McLarens and one of the Alpines going side by side through one of the turns. Arabella saying science is a Red Bull option for 2026, but that's 2 years out. The story with science is he's signed to Williams next year, on a multi-year deal. So ultimately, at the end of this, we have again the top of the board was Russell, Oscar, Hamilton, Norris, Verstappen, Alonso, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Leclerc, Albon. Back half of the grid was Stroll, Perez, Ricardo, Gasly, Sargent, so Ocon, Bottas, Sainz with a gearbox problem, and Hulkenberg who crashed out in the first after 12 minutes essentially. Steven Seagal is pointing out, don't forget your rain gear tomorrow. It is potential for rain. Has been talking about that. Why can't you justify Yuki being considered promotion? Because because I don't know why he's not being. I don't know why he's not being considered. There's just he's not being considered. Part of the problem with Yuki is that he goes from being a consistent driver to being highly immature. And I think he's done that too many times. He burnt that bridge too many times for Red Bull to consider him. So, again, this has been our coverage for the free practice 2 for the Dutch Grand Prix. We are done with this session right now. We'll be back tomorrow with FP3. If you like and subscribe, if you subscribe and hit the bell, you'll get notifications. Hopefully, that your phone or your computer will be on to get said notifications. I will probably be joining you, Marceau, F1 Roblox Flan. I'll probably be joining you at some point to rewatch FP1, as I missed it this morning. We will be again back for FP3 tomorrow, and then Ryan will be back for quali, and then for the race on Sunday. For everyone here at the Racing News channel, I want to thank you guys to have a good afternoon and a good day, or good morning as it is. I did get a red flag today, Paula. I am the harbinger of red flags. Having said that, again, and I also got a gearbox as well, so I got a 2 for today. I want to thank everyone here. We will see you tomorrow, and take care.